What's up, y'all? It's your girl Lily Lynette. I am back with another video. Hello, welcome to my channel. This is my channel, Awaken Alignment. This is my channel where I just share my journey and my walk with God and just everything that I've learned and am learning in real time. So I said this a little bit in my last video, but when I go through things, sometimes I'll tend to do introspection and everything on my own without the world looking and observing. But I was like, you know what? I think it's important for me to show up and share, as I said in my last video, specifically because I had to sit down with God and he let me know the same way that he shows up every day for me is the same way that I should be showing up for my supporters and the people who watch me and tune into my content and whatnot. And I thought that that was very important. It just brought me to self-realization that no, life is not going to always be perfect. We're always going to have to show up. We got to show up, every day in our everyday lives. But sometimes life can get us down to where we feel like we don't even want to just show up. This message is just to say, I brought my microphone, but it's dead. I didn't even charge it. So now I'm just and then I can't use my other one because I have to have a regular plug-in cord. So I was like, you know what? I got my phone. I'm on 2%. I'm going to show up still, speak until this phone dies. Life is always going to present us with a new problem, but it's up to us to choose how we want to take that in and process it and move forward. We don't have to let life happen to us. I think the most important thing to do is to show up in the midst of it all, especially through the lower points in life, through, depression, the trials and the tribulations that we experience. But sometimes, or some days, you're going to have those points spiritually to where you feel like you can just not do it. You just can't pull yourself to do it. And if you ever hit rock bottom or just hit that point to where you feel like you can't do it and you have no strength, that is your sign right there to lean into God the most. Those points where we find ourselves not knowing what to do, feeling like we can't push forward and go on any longer, and sitting there wondering, well, what's next? Just kind of always being in survival mode and expecting the worst. But you don't have to be in survival mode. You can take a step back and breathe. Your only real job in real time, in the now, is to just be present and to show up and do your best every day, the best you can with what you have and, what you're presented with. Because the reality of it, we have everything we need. God has equipped us with everything we need. Every problem that we face, he does have a solution for it. And that solution, it may sound cliche, but it is him. God wants us to come to him, especially in seasons where we're low, not just when we're high and everything is, working out in our favor, how we want it to go, but especially in those seasons where that in between season, you don't know what's next. You don't know what's in store. You don't know where to go from where you are right now. That is the time God wants you and calls you to lean into him the most. Lean onto him. God, I need strength. I need this. I need that. We ask God of so many things, but sometimes just stop and say thank you. Don't ask for anything. Just stop and be present and grateful with what you have. Take a look around you. Do you have the basic necessities? Food on the table, clothes on your back, a place to lay your head? And if you don't, be grateful with what you do have. And whatever you don't have or whatever you're lacking right now, just know that it will be provided for you. But you can't just expect to sit around and everything to be handed to you. You got to show up too. And that's not in a super major way. You can show up in a sense of just whether it's praying every day. Some people don't even have a prayer life or just a space in their life to just stop and say thank you and be present. This season has really just taught me how to slow down and be calm and be still and be okay with where I am and the pace that I'm going. The only thing that I need to do now is show up, and everything that is waiting for me in that next season is being prepared for me. We both can be calm and patient, knowing that it's going to happen. We're going to get there. And all you have to do, your priority, your main priority right now, is to just show up. When you're tired, when you're annoyed, when you're grieving, just show up every day, no matter what you're feeling. It doesn't matter if your life is looking amazing right now or if you're on rock bottom. It doesn't matter if you're high or low right now in life. Just stop and take a moment to be present. One thing I've found myself having to do is to just stop and be still. It's okay to be still and to take a pause and to take a break and to rest. Be present with yourself. Sometimes we'll be put in positions and situations to where we have no choice but to sit down. So if you're in a season of having to just slow down and, be present with yourself, be present with God, surrender to that. Be present in that, because I promise you, in that time, in those moments of solitude, just that intimate time between you and your creator, you and God, you'll learn some of the most eye-opening stuff, wisdom. You would be so surprised how much you can receive. And not only that, information, because it's sometimes we feel like we only have to go to God when we need something. Give me this, I want this. We don't have to always ask. As ask and you shall receive. But the reality of it is, you don't always have to ask for stuff. You can just stop, be present, and be still and look around and say, well, do I need more? Am I trying to go outside of myself to start attaining stuff? So once we start doing that, once we get in that survival mode, that energy of always having to make stuff happen, it can get tiring. You have to have balance to that. Just as much as you're ambitious and you go get it, is just as much as you have to learn how to be still and rest and go inward. We can do so much stuff externally on the outside, but nobody's doing the work on the inside anymore. I say this to say that you can stop and you can be present, no matter if you're in a good season right now or in a low season, no matter if you don't have a car right now, you don't have a job, you have life. There's so much to be grateful for. You have breath in your lungs. And sometimes we can think if we don't have what everybody else have, the next person, or comparing, or this and that, all these material things that people say we have to have in order to be fulfilled or happy or have status. It's all bull. It's all bull. You do not have to go outside of yourself to find God or to obtain anything. All you have to do is go directly to God. And building that relationship with Him, He will naturally shape you and mold you and transform your life. But it starts with you and you taking the first step and the initiative to say, God, I need you. And not just how I want to need you because I need this, but you got to really be open. You have to have an open heart and surrender to what God is doing with you right now in this season of your life. Like I said, whether it's a high season or a low season, a good season or a bad season, an abundant season or a season of lack, which in reality, there's no such thing as a season of lack because there's always something to be taken from every single experience and situation that we find ourselves in life. And there's always growing to do. And as long as you're applying things and you're growing and there's some type of change happening in your life, you're on the right path. And that's something that I'm always assured of, that as long as I'm taking action and healing and shedding more, then I'm doing something right. It's not just about being a good person, but actually doing the inner work, because you could be a good person but you have a whole bunch of trauma and healing to do, or you're just not the best person on the inside. Or you can have vanity and beauty and glitz and glamour and have just a disgusting soul. You got to be beautiful on the outside and the inside and the outside. Inner beauty is where external beauty is able to flow. If you're good on the inside, everything on the outside and externally will automatically align and come into fruition for you. During these spiritual phases that I would find myself going through, I would always tell myself, well, if I heal, if I do the shadow work, or all these terminologies that people use. Through all of that, I just really had to stop and sit back. I'm like, because before I knew it, years had passed and I'm still over here doing healing work. I'm still, sorry y'all, my battery died and my phone is officially on 1% now, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But that just goes to show that it doesn't matter how much inner work or healing or therapy that you do, you're always gonna need God. We're always gonna need that higher power. We're always gonna need the one and true living God. And there's so many things we can do to try to get around Him, but we're gonna always have to, it's like you do so much to try to get around Him and you end up right back. But I say all this to say that it doesn't matter how much healing work you do, you're always going to need God. And He's the one who will do that work. He'll help you through it. It's not meant to be experienced alone. It's not a journey that you're meant to partake in or embark on alone. It's a journey between, you and God, self and source. Follow it, take heed to it, nurture it, pour into it, just like you would any other relationship or connection. Some things that have been personally working for me in this season is making sure that I'm building a strong prayer life, meaning praying a lot, and not just like, dear Heavenly Father, but like I consider prayer just anything that is like talking to God, you and God having a conversation, taking care of my vessel, my body, hydrating, drinking water, eating light foods, nothing too heavy. I'm not gonna lie, I've honestly been doing a lot of fasting and it's been a journey. Fasting is something I've been doing for like the last 2 years, but for the past year I've really been doing like consistently and taking it serious. So yeah, I would recommend fasting. Clear your vessel. Sometimes God can't connect with us because we got so much clutter, so much noise around us, and also internally in our vessel, and it's hard for God to connect through us fully and wholly if we have so much guck on the inside. And that's not just trauma, but that's also unhealthiness. But when it comes to fasting, don't just fast. Don't do like hop right into it. I would say work your way up to it. So like slowly start cutting back. You can do fruits and vegetables, and then you can do straight water, and then you can do dry fast. It just depends. And I can go into more depth on that another day, another video, more in depth about fasting. That's all for today, y'all. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Take something from it and give y'all some food for thought, something to ponder on and reflect upon. Once again, this is my channel, my second channel, Awaken Alignment. Here you can expect more sit-down videos. Oh, also, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with anybody who you think just needs to hear these words that I speak, because when I speak and I talk, everything I'm sharing is from just my testimony and my journey thus far. But it's to be shared. So if you know somebody who could benefit from this video, could hear some encouraging words, some words of wisdom, go ahead and share it. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, subscribe if you feel called to just tune in along this journey whenever I post here on this channel. And I also do have my main channel, Aaliyah Lynette. Over there I post more vlogs and occasional like car sit down talk videos. But yeah, here you can see me more real, raw, and in depth. So I hope y'all have a blessed one. See y'all later.